Hi, I'm Michelle and I'm a pregnancy and postpartum corrective exercise specialist. I wanted to share with you my top 3 tips on helping you to have an easier birth. All you need is a pillow and something to hold on to, perhaps a door or a balustrade. Number 1, firstly, we want to open up that pelvis, making room for baby. The best way to do this is in the squatting position. You can get into this position during your pregnancy to help prepare and make room, but you can also do it during your delivery. Just don't stay in that position for too long because the blood flow can be cut off at your hips. Let me demonstrate a full squat and a squat modification. For this, you're going to need a pillow, a block and something sturdy to hold on to, like a door or perhaps a balustrade. I'm going to be using a stool and a block because that's all I have in this facility, so please don't do that. You need to hold on to something sturdy. So first of all, we're going to do the modification. So you're going to try that first and then see if you can move on. So by placing a block on the floor behind you and standing in front of your sturdy object. So you're going to squat down, back into your hips with your arms wrapped around the knees or just in front if that's more comfortable for you. And you might need to hold higher up later in your pregnancy, so just see how you go. So you're going to hinge from the hip, taking yourself down to meet that yoga block or that pillow. The arms are on the outside and you're holding onto that object that's nice and sturdy. You're going to place your head down and you're going to round your back. This is opening the pelvis, making room for baby. You're going to inhale through your nose, pushing the air into your back. You're looking at about 90% of the air going into your back and about 10% coming down to meet your pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor is relaxed. Take a few breaths here. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Make sure that you're relaxing the front of your ankles and lengthen those arms out in front of you. If you're finding this okay, you might want to try taking the block away. So inhale, exhale, brace that core a little and just remove the block. Hold this position, arms on the outside or the inside if it's better for you, rounding the back. Once again, breath into the back, 90% and 10% coming down to reach that pelvic floor. Take a few deep breaths here. And very important, don't bear down. So when you are inhaling and relaxing that pelvic floor, you do not want to push that pelvic floor down and out of the window. You want it just to come down and be relaxed. Remember, practice makes perfect. Number 2, secondly, you need to learn how to relax and contract that pelvic floor to decrease the risk of tearing and bearing down, allowing for an easier delivery. As women, we can hold a lot of tension in our pelvic floor and may have an overactive or hypertonic pelvic floor. This can make it harder for that pelvic floor to stretch in a way that you need it to do during birth, and for the baby's head to push past the pelvic floor muscles in order to descend into the birth canal. Firstly, you're going to start with 360 breathing and then incorporate your pelvic floor. But it's important to note that during pregnancy, expansion is decreased due to the baby pushing up, so we want to promote this breathing for as long as possible. 360 breathing is a deep breathing pattern that involves the expansion of the diaphragm and the front, the back and the sides of the body. You're going to take an inhale through your nose and then exhale through your mouth. And I'm going to demonstrate this with a ball. And you might notice that I'm sitting on a yoga bolster, but you can use a pillow. So you're going to inhale, expanding into that body. Imagine this ball representing the sides of your ribs, the back and the front. And the breath is also coming down to meet that pelvic floor. So let's do that a few times and practice. So inhale through the nose, expanding the body. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And hopefully you will have felt the expansion of those ribs. Now, let's incorporate the pelvic floor because it's super important to learn to release that pelvic floor to allow for baby to come down that birth canal. So on the inhale, you are going to keep that pelvic floor at basement level. That means keeping it relaxed. So that's why I'm sitting on a bolster. So have a little wiggle and just let go of any tension you've got. Any tension in the abdominals, any tension in the pelvic floor, and just see if you can meet that cushion. Don't bear down, it's important not to push out, so just let it relax. And then you're going to imagine your pelvic floor like a house. You've got a basement level, ground, and first. So relax is at the basement, you're then going to squeeze to the ground, and then lift to the first floor. And you do all of those as you exhale. So let's try this a few times. Inhale through the nose. Full body 360 expansion, and that pelvic floor is relaxed. Exhale through the mouth, and then you are going to squeeze that pelvic floor to the ground, and then finally lift it to the first floor. Let's go again. Inhale through the nose. Relaxing pelvic floor back down to the basement. Exhale through the mouth. Squeeze to the ground and lift to the first floor. And now I want you to take it back down to basement and just relax. Don't worry about doing 360 breath. Just breathe normally and just relax. If you need a little wiggle to be able to do this, then go for it. It's really important not to bear down when you are trying to relax. Sitting on this pillow really does help, so if you need to do that during your labour, why not? Remember, practice makes perfect. Number 3, finally, we want to keep good mobility, good core strength and breathing patterns with lots of back and side body expansion to decrease the stress on our linea alba and pelvic floor muscles to decrease the risk of prolapse. The cat-cow is a wonderful tool for this, so don't be embarrassed to get down on all fours during labour to take the pressure off your spine, which will ease back pain. And kneeling forward can also open your pelvis. Let me demonstrate the cat-cow. So you want to come down onto all fours, and you want to have your shoulders directly over your wrists and your hips directly over your knee. Come into a neutral pelvis, and you want to inhale and you want to lift your chest and your head, and you go into an arch. You want to lift those sit bones upwards, pressing the chest forward, relaxing the shoulders and gazing straight ahead. Exhale and round for cat pose. Round the spine outwards, tuck the tailbone and draw that pubic bone towards the front. Back to cow. Open that chest, draw the shoulders back, lift the head. Lift those sit bones upwards and exhale, round for cat pose. Dropping that head, rounding that lumbar spine as well as the thoracic spine. And it's important as you go through each pose to not shift forward and back. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. And then come back to neutral and relax. I hope this was helpful for you. If you liked it, give it the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on another workout or advice soon.